So good to still have you right there. It is still Global Morning. We want to apologize for the little delay before our return, just in a bid to put in place a little technical hitch. We're back, and of course, so many things happening. We will get into the discussion. Taking us a little bit to the House of Representatives, and of course, what's happening in the polity. In fact, the National Assembly as a whole has been, in fact, up and doing, even though today they would be going on recess. But then, the issue of the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway, the approval of the budget, we'll talk about that a little bit before we venture into the fact that it's been said there is a bill right now about public servants, right, being stopped from accessing private schools and hospitals. We'll talk about that too at the course of our conversation. But then the issue of the Lagos Coastal Highway has generated a lot of issues, and we'll look into those issues. But before then, I think I will need to go on a quick break. After this break, we'll return, and the first conversation will come your way. Stay with us.
All right, you're welcome back, and it's Global Morning. And yes, this is the first discuss of the day. Apologies for the very quick, short break. It was just due to circumstances beyond our control. But like Ramsey mentioned, we are back and we're better now. And now for the first discuss, we'll delve into the House of Representatives approved a $347 million loan to fund the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway and other projects. And today I am being joined by a very good friend of mine. His name is Toba Owojaye. He is a political analyst. Good morning, Toba. Thank you for joining me on the program this morning.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Now, looking at this issue on ground about the House of Representatives approving the $347 million loan to fund the Lagos Calabar Coastal Highway, what are your initial thoughts on the House approving that sort of loan for the highway project?
I would even love to speak on the more broader spectrum of which they even approved a loan of $21 billion. And,
Go ahead.
billion euros. That is it's just the fact that we've taken up a lot of loans already, and we have not seen so much of what the loans have done. And then more is being taken. But the purposes they've stated seem a bit good. $3 billion for Eastern Railway Line. That will be the construction of the Port Harcourt and Maiduguri Railway Line. That will link the south-south with the northeast. And then another 1.3 billion for the Akwanga Jos Bauchi Gombe dual carriageway. Another 2.21 billion for power grid in the eastern and western region. Another 2 billion for Lagos Green Line Rail. Another $596 million for Kaduna Kano rail stock. Just these are good projects, but I really don't know why everything is being rushed all at the same time. In my mind, I think the president is now pressured by the growing coalition and opposition, so he wants to get all the good deeds available out immediately. And everyone is aware that Nigerians are now smarter, they are more informed.
Yes.
So everybody wants to outperform his opponent. And I think this is good. In my opinion, this is good for Nigeria. It makes those seats, those in power afraid of us, and it makes those who want us to take over afraid of us and trying to work for us. So if these projects are done, these are capital intensive projects that should have been done 40 years ago. I really don't understand why we are just trying to connect rail from Kaduna to Kano now. I really don't understand why we destroyed all the rails. I grew up seeing railways.
Of course.
I grew up entering train from Kaduna to Mina for 300 naira. It was good, and it was all destroyed in this country. So it's quite expensive. I think it's overpadded, but it is over-necessary. This is where I stand.
Now, looking at the removal of fuel subsidy and this this loan, does it mean that the removal of fuel subsidy, we do not have enough money to fund these projects without going in collecting loans here and there? Before we delve more into this,
honestly, till tomorrow, I do not understand subsidy in this country. I do not understand where the funds are going to. I know the state governments are getting more money. I know the local governments are getting more money. If I say I have a clear picture on exactly if money has been saved, because I don't believe money has been saved if you are still borrowing. I know the country also, before his government, had extensive debts that were eating over 99% of the funds generated by the country. So if I'm one of the people who support subsidy being removed, but we need to see that the monies you are taking it off for is doing something that is very good for Nigerians. We need to see a more pragmatic government. We need to see a government spending less on jeeps and fancy things. We need to see government spending only on infrastructure. These are the things the people want to see. Not that we have an issue with subsidy gone. It couldn't have continued forever. We have seen money spent on our refineries every year, every 10 years, every 4 years. Now the same refinery, they are telling us they want to sell it. How can you want to sell a refinery you have just spent billions on, and you have not accounted for why, what state that refinery is in. Is it now fixed? They claimed it was running for a while, and after a little while, it was not running again. Why do you want to sell it? Have you fixed it? Are you selling it as scrap? Are you selling it as a fully refurbished refinery? These are the questions we need answered, and we need the government to come clearly to us. Do a video, take the media houses to those refineries, and do a video for people to see. We need to see what is going on.
Now, in your own opinion, do you believe this loan is a necessary investment for the development of this project? Why or why not?
See, I cannot speak to the loans, but I can speak to the projects. Because only the government knows if it has funds for this project. Usually, the people who give you these loans tie their own companies into the loans to do the project. So if China gives you a loan, you are going to have to use a Chinese company. If IMF gives you a loan, they are going to give you a company that will do the project. So it's not it's a chain. You are giving money, but you are also chained to who can do the job and where that job can be done.
Exactly.
But if you have your own funds, you can bring your own companies and do the projects where you want to do the projects. This is why we need to get past all these loans and have our own funds that will be judiciously used how we want to use it. This is where most people do not understand the politics behind these things. Once the government collects a loan from China, the companies have to be Chinese companies. The terms and conditions have to be in their own favor. These are the issues that must be solved. Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes. So these are the problems we have. Till we have our own funds, then we can choose the companies doing our jobs. We can choose the timing. We can choose the places. But if you tell me that you want to do a rail from Port Harcourt to Maiduguri that will pass through the eastern coast, it's about the best thing any government can do. And it has been given a 6-year period. If it can be accomplished in 6 years, that will be wonders. If we can accomplish Kaduna to Kano rail, remember we have rail from Kaduna to Abuja.
Yes, we do.
We have rail from Itakwe to Warri. We have rail from Lagos to Ibadan.
Yes.
Once we can make another 200 meters connections to those points, and I can be in Warri and take a train directly to Kano, because it just needs to fix Itakwe to Abuja and then fix Kaduna to Kano. Very soon, looking at 10 years down the line, you can be in a train and travel from Lagos to Kaduna. These are the things we're talking about. And it has to happen. One government just has to start it. And I know opposition has a lot to say about it, and the people in power have a lot to say about it, but we need to look at the gains. What will remain for us Nigerians when this government... So I'm not in support of them or against them. I'm looking at the projects. If they're able to accomplish it well and functional, then it is good for us.
Now, let us look at the potential economic benefits that the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway could bring to the region and the country as a whole. Let's look at that briefly now, Mr. Toba.
Yeah, it's going to be mind-blowing. And my only problem is that there's nothing that politicians cannot spoil. Right? Because what big business, you see, and this is why this is why the rich keeps getting rich and the poor keep getting poor. The rich man already sees that the government is doing this, and then he goes to those villages that are along those coastal lines and buys up the land, and meets the government and buys up poor people's land at slightly above their price. And those ones, without seeing the future of what they have and what they've had for 100 years, sell it off for almost peanuts. And then somebody now owns the whole of that axis. So the rich keep getting rich because they have foresight, they have capital, and they can buy up the poor. If not, it will be wonderful for any village that's able to retain their land and then have a new coastal city built along your line. It will bring businesses, it will bring commerce, it will increase the value of land, it will increase the value of education, and it will bring a whole new business line. But like I said, the rich will always play on the poor.
Now, let us look at potential risk or challenges. Now, what do you think are the potential risk or challenges associated with taking on this loan and undertaking these projects?
You see, the first risk we have is political. Are they truly planning to do these projects? This is where the issues are. And is this project overpadded? I was looking at one of the most expensive bridges ever done in the world that was done in China. And they quoted that bridge was done for $3 billion. The bridge is over 400 meters high and it spans for over 3 miles, which is about 7 kilometers. And it's in a very dangerous terrain. But $3 billion got it done in China. If that job came to Nigeria, 20 billion cannot get it done. So these are the issues we are having. Are these people sincere with the cost prices of what they want to do? Do they plan to follow through on these projects? If that works, then that's good. I'm not in a cocoon. Nigeria is a complex country. We know jobs will be padded. But let them not be overly padded so that the people can still get the benefits in due time. 6 years is a long time, but 6 years is going to come. And if this is good, if this works out, then it's very good for the people, very good for business.
And also, you didn't even add, I hope it will stand the test of time, which is very important. We see how bad our roads are from Abuja to Lagos, from Lagos to Benin. We see how bad it is. The roads that were done in the past cannot even stand the test of time. Hopefully, with this sort of loan that will be imputed in this coastal highway, it will stand the test of time. Do you think so? With the Nigeria in which we are now, hopefully it will get better.
For what I know, Umahi started out and said every contract that he would accomplish will be done with a cement or concrete road. That he has moved completely away from asphalt. And I've seen that so far. The Kaduna part of the road he's doing is concrete. This morning I passed Suleja Road. Is also concrete that is being laid there. We saw what Dangote did in Kogi State as a sample of what cement and concrete can do on a road, and it has lasted about 20 years. Those roads are built to last for 100 years. Now that is theoretical. I will not be here to confirm that because we will all be gone. But at least if we have a road that it will be a bit more expensive, but in 60 years time it will still be existing. It is better than these roads we do for 8 years and people clap for us and you see 30 kilometers here, 50 kilometers here, and in the next 3 years it has gone bad again. So I think we should do something durable for our children. I don't know what we will tell them in the next 30 years if they still meet this country at the level of decadence that it is. So I think it's a good thing for them to do concrete roads. It will last better. They should do drainages. Without drainages, every road will be destroyed. So anywhere you see a road project and you don't see drainages, that person is just playing to the gallery. It will get bad again. So I think this is good from what we have seen from him, and he did well in Ebonyi State. We believe he can do a good work, but this is just too little, too late. I believe because of ADC and the pressure on the government is trying to put their best foot forward. The question is, why didn't you do that from day one? So it's all good for us.
Now let's look at how important is it to ensure transparency and accountability in the management and disbursement of these loan funds.
I think, you see, we have a Senate that serves almost like a rubber stamp. We do not have the details to the past jobs that were done. Like I'm saying, we are not being accountable. How much let's start with the refineries. We had it was being fixed. We had they started working. We had they were shut down.
True.
We are just hearing stuff. There's nothing clear and concrete. We've not had. We need to have like a Oputa panel.
A monitoring committee.
Yes, I'm bringing some of the people that people can trust a bit. Bring in media houses, bring in VDM, bring in ordinary presidents, throw in the activists and people that people believe have the good of Nigeria at hand, and let them be part of the committees to look at these things. For heaven's sake, we can't keep running projects in billions of dollars, and it's even loans, and we don't know where these funds are going to. We don't know how much is needed. We need quantity surveyors as activists. Most activists are not technical in this field. We need a technical activist that can look at that road and be able to tell us how much he thinks this road will be worth as a project. I'm not saying an opposition who will inflate it to make the government look bad, or somebody supporting the government who would make it to look good. Somebody to just tell us the facts. What is this road worth? How much will it take to do this road? We need such activists and people who can put all the facts ahead of us. As it is now, we are going blind. The split didn't do anything to verify the figures. In my opinion, we didn't see any way that they verified the amount. We just saw them approve the loans.
Exactly.
And I support the loans, I support the project, but the process is still too flawed for our liking.
All right, Toba, let us look at local communities and environments. Now, what impact might this loan and project have on these local communities and environment? We're not talking about them as much.
You see, in Congo, where they mine gold is gotten for less than 2% of its value in the community, and then sold for 50 times that price outside that place. And in that place, you see the people mining, killing each other. You see clashes between communities. So a new mine was found of gold, and a journalist started crying and said, this will just lead to more deaths and more people dying and more people getting richer 5,000 kilometers from here. This is the same thing that goes on in Nigeria if unchecked. One or two people in the communities will be settled, youth leader, chairman, and they will turn their eyes away from whatever else is happening while that construction is going on. If that construction is not completed, they have been settled, so they turn their eyes and walk away. I believe it will be very good for Nigeria and Nigerians if these new corridors of transportation is worked out. I follow the train from Itakpe to Warri. At every single train station, people came down and people got in. Women came with their goods to sell. People came in from school. People were going to school. Somebody was being taken to a hospital in another state. At every single train stop point, people got in and people got out. Meaning that train is giving value along that route to all the communities there. Yeah, so this is what we need. We don't need trains that just dash. I'm sorry to say Kaduna and Abuja is one of the worst I've seen. There's hardly any passenger joining the train from Kaduna all the way to Abuja. Straight up is moving, but that's not what we see in Itakpe to Warri. We need to see the trains passing through communities so that we can help communities.
But let me ask you,
all
Toba.
projects-
Toba, sorry to interject. When you mentioned you've not seen passengers when there's movement from Abuja to Kaduna, do you think insecurity has played a major role on that?
Yeah, yes. I don't know where the train would likely want to stop in those axes, because the design of those axes were put at the fringe part of town. Let me give an example in Kaduna. There's a point in which the train stops called Kakao. Kakao is close to Sabo, Goningora, and those axes. And most people who live in the southern part of Kaduna would have loved to stop at Kakao.
Very true.
But the train station is so far from the town, and there is no good road, that nobody wants to risk his life to stop there.
True.
You now have to go another 30 minutes to Rigasa to now enter train. And in the last 6 years, Rigasa has now developed, while Kakao is still a complete village as it is, because the government or whoever, or the state, or the senators are lackadaisical about it. They have not done anything to develop and secure that Kakao axis. If they do that today, I can assure you that place will become a town in 4 years, a complete town. But government is not doing enough. I want to be honest with you. Government is not doing enough.
You know what, Toba? I want to ask one question. For as much as this loan fund it brings a lot of revenue, but at the same time, it takes a toll on the country, directly or indirectly, because we are under duress to follow, from who we're taking the loan from. We must adhere to what they bring to the table, like you mentioned before. Now, what are some alternative funding options that could have been considered for this project?
You see, it's just sad to see where we are. 1971, IMF was borrowing from us to develop other places. Now, IMF is even tired of borrowing us money. So we have to now go to other countries. Part of this project is funded by African AFDB and other groups that are still even willing to give us some funds. I think in a few years we may not have anyone to loan us money again, because we've gone around the globe. Luckily, our governors are shying away from collecting loans now. If not, we would have been in a hell of a mess. In my opinion, they should shut down collecting of loans for this country. It is getting out of hand. It is still useful at some point. Once it is infrastructure, I think we should make a policy and a budget and laws that clearly state that once any fund is being borrowed, it has to be for infrastructure alone. Because if that doesn't happen, we would have loans collected for very, very petty reasons.
True.
We don't have good hospitals in Nigeria. I think we still see people traveling abroad, government officials to be treated in a country where we could have had one of such big ones in every geopolitical zone. These are the things we should face.
Hello, Mr. Toba.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Go ahead.
Yeah, so these are the things we should face. That we should ensure that these projects, these loans are well looked into. There should be more community engagement. Don't hide things from us. Let us know the projects you want to do. Let us know the benefits it will bring to us. Let us know the companies that used. These are the things. I don't have a problem with infrastructure. Once infrastructure is fixed, the train from Kaduna to Abuja is 3,600. I'll be taking that train tomorrow. And while on that train, I can walk. There's a place I can charge my phone. I'm seated comfortably on the train. I've made great friends. I've made business partners. People even take selfies and pictures. There are wonderful things when you fix infrastructure.
Very
Infrastructure
true.
is the reason why people go abroad. Yes, while we are fixing infrastructure, we may have to collect loans for it, but we should make it few and far in between. This is my position.
Oh, thank you so much, Mr. Toba Owojai, who is a political analyst, and joining
Thanks for
me in the
having me.
first discuss of the day, and how he brought out his wheels of knowledge when it comes to the House of Representatives approving the sum of $347 million loan to fund the Lagos Calabar Coastal Highway and, of course, other projects. Thank you so much, Mr. Toba Owojai, for being a part of the program.
Thank you.
All right. Hope you've been informed on the issues making round now, and of course, the House of Representatives approving that large sum of $347 million loan to fund the Lagos Calabar Coastal Highway and other projects. And like I asked that very vital question, with the removal of fuel subsidy, what happens to all the money that has been accumulated, or what is going on really? But your guess is as good as mine, and let's just wait it out and just keep watching and see how well this plays out. For as much as this is a step in the right direction when it comes to infrastructure, when it comes to revenue of our dear country, Nigeria. And of course, the second discuss of the day comes up next on Global Morning. Do not go anywhere. The program Global Morning continues shortly. Stay tuned.
is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Hello and welcome back from that first discussion. Of course, that first discussion has to do with the House of Representatives passing a bill that has to do with the Lagos Calabar Coastal Way. As a matter, something very important right now, and that is the House of Representatives. Public and civil servants from patronizing private schools and of course healthcare facilities. The bill was being sponsored by the House of Representatives Amobi Oga, Labour Party Abia, and was presented for first reading during Tuesday's plenary session. And of course, in his lead debate, Oga described the proposed legislation as a turning point in Nigeria's history, and he said the bill is aimed at buying all public and civil servants, including their immediate family members, from using private educational and healthcare services in the country, and of course outside the country, as a matter of fact. And according to him, the objective is to eliminate conflict of interest, build public trust for what we have, and uphold the integrity of public institutions. Today, in this second discussion, we want to look at this bill and other surrounding issues, and we have someone who is a public affairs strategist join us on the program in the person of Abdulkadir Lukman. It's good to have you join us on the program this morning, sir. Good morning, Abdulkadir.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
All right. Let's get into the conversation. There is a move. All right, the bill has already passed the first reading, and the essence of the bill is to bar civil servants and public servants and civil servants and their immediate members from using private educational and healthcare services. What is your take? Do you think this is a right move in the right direction?
Thank you very much. You see, this initiative of this bill to stop public and civil servants from patronizing the private hospitals and schools, for me, it may be a welcome development. But what the legislators need to do firstly is to create an enabling environment that such services can be accessible at the public sectors, particularly like our schools and our healthcare facility need to be upgraded to the best standard, so that public servant and civil servant can have a good quality healthcare and also good and quality education. However, not allowing public and civil servant to patronize the private services is denying individuals, private sectors and company from having these services from Nigerian populace. So for me, the bill for this to address this concern, I think the government need to put the infrastructure in place before coming up with this bill. You cannot stop someone from having access to have a good quality education or good healthcare facility. You did not put those things in place, and you're trying to stop the public servant from accessing the private sector. To me, these issues need to be addressed before we can talk about this bill.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. Now let's look at this issue holistically. Now, if you look at the section of the people that this bill is targeting, is public servants and of course civil servants. Some persons are asking, what about the politicians?
Okay, when we talk about public servants, this includes elected politicians and also appointed politicians, while the civil servants are those technocrats in the field of work. So the names public servant covers both politicians, elected politicians, and appointed politicians.
Yes. What's that question? Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, if this bill may come to be, then it has to include both the politicians and also the public, the civil servant, not restricted to only civil servants alone, but inclusive of the politicians.
All right. Now let's look at this holistically now. Of what advantage, if this is being done, of what advantage do you think it will be to Nigeria? Because when it comes to the issue of health, we've seen presidents travel a lot of times. Apart from the former vice president, Osibanjo, who had his surgeries in Nigeria, we've seen a lot of politicians and everyone moving outside. So of what political value do you think this will be if it is really passed? Because this just passed the first reading at the House of Representatives. Do you think this will be signed eventually into law by the Senate?
For me, I think even if the bill has been passed into law, it will be inconsequential because it may not address our concerns as Nigerians. Firstly, what the legislator needs to look at is to prevent public servants and politicians from having medical health care outside Nigeria, so that we can spend more resources in building our own infrastructure to have a very good healthcare, but not limiting public servants and civil servants from having such services from the private sectors. These private sectors reside in Nigeria. Therefore, they should not be deprived of having services, of receiving services from other Nigerians. To me, the bill that they should establish is to stop politicians and public servants from accessing healthcare outside Nigeria. Let us do it locally in Nigeria. Let us put our infrastructure in place. Let us put our medical facility in place so that we can enjoy our medical services in Nigeria. You can see the case of the late President Muhammadu Buhari, who was taken to UK for medical attention. If during his 8 years administration he has put our medical facility in place, we can have a very good intensive healthcare that can take care of every Nigerian. We don't need to travel abroad for medical any medical concern. This concern needs to be addressed and treated in Nigeria, and this will bring more, will make the economy to be more viable instead of taking Nigerian resources to go and have a medical facility outside Nigeria.
All right, that is well spoken. And as a matter of fact, according to what we have, Sam Odubel also attended, we're looking at, let's look backwards a little bit. Let me take you backwards a little bit. During the days of Republic, the days of our fathers, people like Sir Ahmadu Bello, who attended Sokoto Provincial School and Katsina Training College, right now the Barewa College. Then we'll talk about Nnamdi Azikiwe, who also went to the Holy Trinity College and Christ Church School in Onitsha. Likewise, Chief Obafemi Awolowo and Alhaji Tafawa Balewa. They were given these instances, and now let's come to the issue of brain drain right now. As a matter of fact, people are leaving, doctors are leaving the country on a daily basis. If we have the facilities, like you even talk about putting up the structure, if we have the structure and we still have the issue of our doctors moving out of the country, do you think this can be effective? Don't you think there will be a lot of casualties?
There will not be, because what makes Nigerian travel abroad is because of the wages, salaries, and remuneration. Nigerians to spend more on their citizens. When I say spend more on our facilities. Put this medical facility in place, our educational sector in place, and then give a good working condition to the medical doctors, to the teachers. Let a school teacher be well paid. Let the job be attractive to Nigerians. People will feel comfortable to work in Nigeria. Instead of traveling abroad, you work and then the taxes over there takes off all what you have gained as a salary. But in Nigeria, our taxing system is still moderate that can accommodate every Nigerian by your level of earnings. So if the sector is working very well, things have been in good shape. I don't think if a medical personnel would like to travel abroad for any white collar job, we can do it at home. So we need to fix our sector. We need to make our sector looks more beautiful, more encouraging. We need to provide environment for the medical personnel as well as the teachers so that it can be more attractive to Nigerians.
All right. Thank you very much. Remember, I just want to draw your attention to something. And before I draw your attention to that, let me just give this statistic so that we can have a clearer understanding. While there is this statement in what the bill was saying that Nigeria was allocated 1.33 trillion naira to healthcare in the 2024 budget, but the country spent an estimated 1.6 trillion naira, or more than $1 billion annually on medical treatment, that is abroad, people traveling abroad. And Olga also added that Nigeria spent at least $29.29 billion on overseas medical expenses during the 8th-year administration of late former President Muhammadu Buhari, like you rightly cited. Now, we are trying to round up now. What do you think? Because it is one thing for these structures to be available. You can hear that there is a strike action right now as we speak, even in FCT, at the primary health care center level. Now, what do you think about the issue of affordability? Because even drugs are not affordable now. Do we have what it takes economically, all right, to afford the Medicare that will cater for this fraction of people? I'm just talking about the civil servant and the public servants now. What about the average Nigerians?
You see, Nigeria is blessed with enormous resources, but unfortunately, we mismanage our resources. Nigerian is blessed with natural resources, as I said, both human and capital resources. But whenever we establish a law or something new, the implementation becomes an issue. It is one thing to establish a law, there is another thing to implement. So Nigeria needs to also look inward in implementing most of the policies. And ordinary Nigerian can afford to have these services if there is a strict functional supervision, if there is also an implementation of these policies. So what we need to do is to ensure strict functional supervision of every of our respective policies.
Oh, all right. Because of our time, we may not be able to continue. So as it is right now, you are fully in support of this bill. That's what it means, right?
No. From my submission, it's a two-way traffic. But I am not in support of this bill by the National Assembly because this bill may not address our concerns. As I said earlier, Nigerians should spend more on the medical sector and also the educational sector. Let the personnel have a good remuneration, wages and salary to make the job looks more attractive, both the medical personnel and also the teachers. So it is important for the National Assembly to bring up a bill that will stop politicians and public service from accessing medical health care outside Nigeria. You can see the case of the late President Muhammadu Buhari, who was free up to UK for medical attention. It should be in Nigeria, not in UK. So we should train our personnel more, spend more resources. Let us build Nigeria together. We cannot continue to create bills that are inconsequential to Nigerians. We need to do something that will impact the life of ordinary Nigerians. These are my submissions.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us on the program today. This is how much we take on the conversation. We hope to have you some other time. Many thanks for joining us. Bye-bye for now.
It's a pleasure.
All right, well, that's it. That is a submission right there. All right, let's go on a quick break. After this break, we'll return. And, of course, we will bring Global Morning to a close. Stay with us. We'll be back after this break. Welcome back. This is how much you'll be taking. Like we promised before we got started, it's loaded, right? But you ain't seen nothing yet because Global Television is here to serve you. Many other programs lined up for you. At least we've talked about tech from the beginning.
Yes,
we also talked about the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway that has generated a lot of controversy. I wouldn't want to go into that detail right now because already it's been spoken about. Then, of course, civil servants, politicians, everyone
using private, not using
private and hospital and, of course, schools anymore. Well, that's it from us today, and this is going to be the size of Global Morning. Global Morning return again tomorrow. My name is Ramsey Agbo.
And I am Jumai Manson. Have an amazing day ahead and keep watching Global Television. And of course, same time tomorrow, Global Morning continues. Have an amazing day ahead. And from Ramsey and I, we say bye-bye.